Good evening, my lord. I heard you summoned me. What can I do for you? Oh, you wanted to talk? I'm sorry, my lord. I know that I must look nervous right now. I'm not used to having this place being so empty. Have I done something to upset you? Oh no. I have, haven't I? 1,000 pardons, my liege. Whatever I did, it won't happen again. What? I'm not in trouble? That's a relief. So, what did you want to talk about? No, my lord. I can't believe it's been that long either. I remember first seeing you and your father in the annual parade. And everyone was traveling to the Cronus Stadium for the tournaments. There were so many performers and royal soldiers marching alongside each other. Gladiators always bring in the biggest crowds, I suppose. You glanced at me for only a brief moment, but I knew our eyes had met. I didn't know what to think of that. Curses, I'm rambling again. You really want to hear it again, my lord? I'm flattered, but you've heard me tell this story 1,000 times. You were there for every part of it, so I can't fathom what makes it so intriguing. Well, if you insist. I was an orphan, so I never really had much money to go in with the rest of the crowd. Your carriage was brought in through the main gates of the arena, and then they shut before I could get a closer look. I started to cry at that point. I had never seen the inside of a stadium, or anywhere special. I lived in the alleyways with all the other orphans and delinquents. One of them dared me to sneak in through the old pipeline, and the others laughed at me for getting so upset. They never cared about festivals. I didn't want to break the rules like they did, but I just had to see the arena. Just once. And that would be enough. Of course, I didn't get very far when the guards noticed me on the other side. All I can recall after that was running and shouting. My legs were aching and my chest was burning, but I kept moving forward until I found a spiral staircase that gave me some hope for escape. I couldn't let them catch me. Before I knew it, I ran past the red curtain and hid behind your seat. That was your balcony. I saw a terrible look on your father's face, and my head would have been gone had you not gotten between us. You stood up for me. I'll be honest. I never really knew what that would be like. To have someone defend you from fear. That's not something you learn when you grow up on the streets. You learn to distrust everyone. There's pickpocketing and rummaging through wastebins for supplies. Your mother was certainly a kinder person to strangers. I didn't realize how embarrassing it was to wear rags before the royal family. Not until I saw her curious expression. It was almost as if she had seen me before, though I highly doubt it. She asked me for my name, and I had trouble answering because I only knew my first name. But it hardly mattered to her. She gave me permission to stay for the rest of the tournament. You lost interest in the matches pretty quickly. Even when the Ravager dogs were dropped into the arena, you were excited to have someone new to talk with. I rode back to the Palace of Time with you in the carriage once it was all over. The rest is history, right? I guess I never really appreciated living on Saturn until I had good people to live for. It's hard to think that our city is floating in the atmosphere of a gas giant when we're standing on solid ground. Ours is the largest space station ever built. Millions of tons of dark matter keep us from being pulled into oblivion each year. Artificial dark matter, of course. It boggles the mind nevertheless. What do you think humans thought when we left Earth nearly 2,000 years ago? Did we ever think we'd come this far? No, my lord. I don't know if I believe in destiny. Maybe those first explorers always knew we'd get here. To plant our flag on every planet that we could reach. But if destiny is real, then I'm happy that it led me to you. I bet most common girls would be jealous. I didn't mean to sound uncouth or thankless, my lord. I know how much of a burden I must be when you already carry so much responsibility on your shoulders. Huh. Really? I'm not a burden? Surely you jest, my liege. Your parents scolded both of us for getting into so many childish antics. Although, I will admit, that time you let a ghost hawk run wild from a zoo was rather amusing. Still, I don't see how I could compare with royalty. Thanks to you, I have a bed to sleep in and 3 meals a day. What more could I ask for? The servants are all friendly too, if a bit prudish at times. The only thing left to do is tour the rest of the solar system, and we can do it together. It will be just like old times. I'd give anything to make you as happy as you were back then. I have noticed that you've been feeling down as of late, but I will help you in any way I can. You cannot lie to me, my prince. You've been keeping to yourself far too much. The ministers are worried about you as well. I know it's not my place to say that, but I'm speaking as a friend. Please, just talk to me. Fine. Be that way. You can't pout forever. I'm going to stand right here until you tell me what is on your mind. At the very least, can you tell me if it's an urgent matter? You're mumbling, my liege. No, I haven't visited Earth yet. I'd love to see the Ember Palace there with my own eyes, however. Is it true that no one has seen the Terran King in a generation? I shouldn't have said that. It's remarkably easy to pick up gossip whenever I stop by the marketplace for a few dresses. Wait a minute. You're trying to distract me, aren't you? Clever prince. You won't be getting away with that twice. Now, I beg you to tell me what could possibly be bothering you. Saturn is at peace, so I know it has nothing to do with foreign affairs. The people seem to be doing much better than when I was young. What could it be? Really? I mean, we were just children when that happened. I still remember it clearly. Your father was inspecting a new warship for the fleet, and we ran off to the small theater reserved for the crew. Then, all of a sudden, you kissed me. You did it because you were curious, right? It was a first occasion for both of us. I think my face turned red for a whole week after that incident. But, to be honest, I didn't mind it. At least we stayed friends. Because the thought of change is always somewhat frightening. Maybe that's why I'm so worried now. Because you've changed with me. I still look up to you more than anyone else in the kingdom. You listen whenever I am in need of help, and it's only fair that I repay your kindness. After all, Saturn still needs you. I need you too. My lord, are you holding something behind your back? May I see it? It's a box. Is this what I think it is? I don't know if I'm ready for what you're planning. This is slightly jarring for me. A wedding ring. My lord, I'm speechless. This is the greatest gift you've ever given me. But I'm still confused. Why would you choose me? There's nothing special about me, and you could ask any woman on the planet to marry you. Surely there isn't another suitress waiting for you? Everyone will react strongly to an orphan girl marrying a prince. You love me. Do you truly mean that, my liege? You have made me the happiest girl in the world. My life is yours. It always has been. We can watch the stars together and walk along the old forests of Earth and face every challenge as one. It's going to be wonderful. I think it would be nice to have a traditional wedding. The planet's rings are already popular for ceremonies, and a prince should stand for tradition. I don't ever think I'll be used to being called princess. Never in my life did I think that it would be a possibility. So perhaps destiny does exist. Life is so peculiar in so many different ways. It's hard to say how long I've had these feelings. It could be recent. It could have been forever. When I take your hands at the altar, I know in my heart that it was the right decision. That really leaves me with one last thing to say. I love you.